Emma Carter adjusted the strap of her handbag as she walked through the airport terminal, holding her 8-year-old son, Liam's hand. It was supposed to be a simple flight, just a short trip to visit her sister after years of keeping her life quiet, peaceful, and ordinary. Emma liked ordinary now. It was safe. It didn't require bravery or uniforms or the sky. It didn't require being the person she once was. Seat 12F was printed on her boarding pass, and she smiled because she always preferred the window. It made Liam excited, and watching the clouds helped her breathe whenever memories tried to return. People who saw her today would never imagine the truth. That this quiet, gentle single mom was once known by a name that echoed across Air Force bases and enemy radios with fear and respect. A call sign that once belonged to a legend, Viper 1. She had flown jets that broke the sound barrier. She had locked eyes with danger more times than she could count, but she never spoke of that life, not anymore. She left it when she lost her husband, Captain Ryan Carter, in a training accident no one expected. He'd been her flying partner, her best friend, and the only one who understood the fire inside her when she flew. His death shattered her sky, and she promised herself she would never let her son live with the same fear she once carried. The fear of losing a parent who never returned from the clouds. Liam pressed his face to the window of the plane as they settled into row 12. "Mom, do you think the pilot will fly fast today?" he asked, with the kind of excitement only a child could have. Emma laughed softly and brushed his hair from his eyes. "Passenger planes don't fly fast like fighter jets, sweetheart." She said it casually, but her heart tightened. She had flown faster than any of these passengers could imagine. She had felt the roar of twin engines, the vibration of a jet breaking the sound barrier, the intense turning pressure of combat maneuvers. She missed it sometimes, only at night, when the sky outside her bedroom window looked too quiet. But she had moved on. She had to. The plane taxied down the runway and lifted into the air. Passengers settled in. Some slept, some listened to music, some typed on laptops. Emma pulled out a small activity book for Liam and helped him draw clouds, planes, and the silly cartoon pilot he loved. For a moment, everything felt normal, peaceful, ordinary, the life she wanted. Halfway through the flight, the calm shifted. A jolt shook the airplane, so sudden that a few passengers gasped. The cabin lights flickered for a second. Emma's instincts sharpened instantly, almost painfully. Her senses became alert the way they once did in the cockpit before a problem escalated. She scanned the cabin without thinking, recognizing details most people would miss. The angle of the wings outside, the slight pitch change, the tone of the engines. Something was wrong. The captain's voice came through the speaker. "Ladies and gentlemen, the aircraft is experiencing a minor technical issue. Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened." His voice was calm, but Emma heard what most others couldn't, the strain behind his words. Pilots used that tone only when the situation was not minor. The plane shook again, more violently this time. A few drinks spilled. A baby started crying. Someone whispered a prayer. Oxygen masks did not drop, but Emma's muscles remembered the drill, the training, the emergency protocols burned into her mind long ago. Liam looked up at her, eyes wide. "Mom, are we okay?" She squeezed his hand with reassuring confidence. "We're fine, look at me. Take a deep breath. It's just turbulence, okay?" She spoke gently, but inside the old version of her, the one trained to assess and solve emergencies, was already analyzing. Another announcement came, but this time the captain didn't sound calm at all. "If there is any passenger on board with aviation or military flight experience, please make yourself known to the cabin crew immediately. We need assistance." Those words shifted the atmosphere instantly. People looked around. Some passengers panicked, some cried, some clutched their armrests. A few phone cameras started recording. As always in modern times, Emma's heart pounded. She had sworn never to step into that role again, never to put herself back into the air as a pilot, never to let that dangerous world touch her son's life. She had built a new identity, Emma the mother, not Emma the aviator. But as the plane shook harder and a faint burning smell reached the cabin, she realized there were more lives here than just her own and Liam's. A flight attendant rushed down the aisle, eyes searching. "Is anyone here with flying experience? Military, civil aviation? Anyone?" People looked away, helpless. Emma looked at her son. Liam's small voice broke her internal battle. "Mom, you can help them, can't you? Like you helped Dad land that small plane in your stories." Emma felt her breath tremble. She had a choice. Stay quiet, be safe, be ordinary, or save everyone on this plane like she had been trained to do. She knew the answer before she stood. She always knew. Once a pilot, always a pilot. She gently unbuckled, leaned down, and kissed Liam's forehead. "Stay here, be brave. I'll be right back." His little hands held hers for a second longer, trusting. She walked up the aisle with a calmness that surprised even her. People watched her like she was walking toward fire. The flight attendant met her halfway with desperate eyes. "Do you have aviation experience?" Emma nodded once. "Former Air Force fighter pilot." The captain himself pulled open the cockpit door, his face pale, sweat on his forehead. "We've lost navigation and radio intermittently. Systems are glitching. Engines are heating beyond safe levels. We don't know how long we can stay airborne." Emma stepped inside. The cockpit smell, the switches, the screens, the humming of systems, it all pulled her back into the life she thought she buried. The co-pilot stared at her like she was a ghost. "Name." Emma hesitated, the old identity fighting its way up from the past. "Emma Carter, call sign, Viper 1. The captain froze, recognition hitting him like a shock. "The Viper 1? He said softly, as if he were saying the name of a legend. She didn't respond, which was answer enough. The radio crackled suddenly. A military channel cut through the static. "Flight 279, this is Raptor lead from the 121st Fighter Wing. You have entered restricted airspace and are off course. State assistance or emergency status." 2 fighter jets, F-22 Raptors, slid into formation outside the passenger plane, one on each wing, silent, powerful, and watching. Passengers saw them through the windows and panic grew louder. Emma put on the headset. The familiar weight felt unreal. She spoke, voice controlled, steady, like she hadn't skipped a single day. "Raptor lead, this is assisting pilot. Viper 1. There was complete silence on the frequency. Then the voice of the F-22 commander came back, stunned, almost emotional. "Viper 1, welcome back." Emma exhaled slowly. She didn't know that this day, this flight would pull her life toward the sky once again. Emma kept her eyes on the cockpit instruments, forcing her heartbeat to steady as she listened to the familiar hum of the engines. It had been years since she last sat in a cockpit, and yet, in this moment, it felt like the sky had never let her go. The captain and co-pilot waited for her instructions, their hands hovering over the controls, trusting a stranger because her name alone had carried weight. Outside, the 2 F-22 Raptors flew so close that Emma could see the pilot helmets through the glass. They were guardians in the sky now, and this civilian flight had become their responsibility. The radio crackled again. "Viper 1, this is Raptor lead. Systems show your aircraft is losing altitude 1 foot at a time. Fuel temperature is rising too fast. What's your status?" Emma scanned the readings. The navigation system was glitching, autopilot unreliable, and one engine was heating beyond safety. If it failed mid-air, the imbalance could send them into a deadly spin. She adjusted a few settings, her fingers moving with a memory her mind never forgot. "Raptor lead, we have partial avionics failure and unstable engine temperature. I need escort and emergency landing clearance immediately," she replied. The captain watched her with stunned admiration. "How long were you flying before you left the service?" Emma didn't look up. 12 years, combat and tactical. I led strike formations, trained pilots, flew missions most people never heard about. But I also learned how to bring a broken bird home in the worst conditions." She paused for a second. "This plane is going home today too." The co-pilot asked softly, "Why did you leave?" Emma swallowed. She didn't usually share this with anyone, but maybe speaking it aloud would stop the shaking inside her. My husband was a pilot too, Ryan Carter. Call sign Falcon 3. He died during a training exercise. I was in the air when it happened. I heard his final transmission. Her voice tightened. I chose my son over the sky after that. The cockpit fell silent. Even the captain lowered his eyes, understanding more than words allowed. Outside, the sky grew darker as clouds thickened. Weather was shifting, making their already critical situation worse. Raptor Lead came back on the radio. Viper 1, storm expanding across your flight path. Runway priority is being cleared. Emergency crews on standby. You will land at Falcon Air Base. Repeat, Falcon Air Base. Emma froze at the name. Falcon Air Base. The base named after her husband, honoring his sacrifice. It felt like fate was calling her back one last time. She took the main controls. Captain, I'll guide you through, but I need full focus and no hesitation. Trust me. He nodded instantly. You saved us the moment you stood up. I'm with you. Emma stabilized the aircraft as turbulence shook the cabin. Passengers screamed while others prayed. The flight attendants held children close, whispering comfort. In row 12, Liam clung to his seat, trying to be brave like his mother asked. He didn't fully understand what she was doing, but he felt safe because it was her. Emma lowered her voice to the pilots. Prepare for manual descent. Autopilot is unreliable. I'll give instructions step by step. Follow exactly. The landing approach was risky. Falcon Air Base's runway was short for a commercial jet, and with damaged systems, they would have only one chance. Fire trucks, ambulances, and emergency response teams formed a line along the runway, their lights flashing in the night. As they neared the base, Raptor Lead spoke again. But this time his voice had softened. Viper, Emma, we never stopped waiting for you to come back. We lost one of our best when you left. Emma exhaled slowly. I didn't leave because I stopped loving the sky. I left because I loved my family more. Your family would be proud of you today, the commander replied. The runway lights appeared through the rain. Emma took charge. Gear down. The captain pressed the switch. An alarm blared. Landing gear malfunction. It hadn't fully deployed. The co-pilot's face went pale. It's stuck! Emma made the decision instantly. We'll release manual override. Prepare for heavy landing. She guided the captain's hand to the lever. On 3. 1, 2, pull! With a loud clunk, the landing gear dropped into place, though not perfectly aligned. It would be a rough touchdown. The ground approached fast. Emma spoke calmly, her voice the anchor everyone needed. Speed to 150, nose slightly up. Hold! Hold! Now flare! The wheels hit the runway hard. Sparks flew as the left gear scraped, dragging. The plane wobbled violently, alarms screaming, but Emma kept her grip steady, reverse thrust. Hold the center line! The aircraft slowed, sliding, shuddering, until it finally came to a stop at the end of the runway. Silence followed. Then the cabin erupted with cries, claps, and sobbing relief. People hugged strangers. Flight attendants slumped with shaking breaths, and some passengers whispered, "Thank God." Emma removed the headset slowly, her body finally catching up to the adrenaline. The captain stared at her like she had just performed a miracle. You didn't just save 186 lives, you brought hope with you. When Emma walked out of the plane, holding Liam's hand tightly, emergency crew members stood in formation, not for the captain, but for her. And standing at the front, helmet under his arm, was Colonel Daniel Davis, Raptor Lead, the man who had once flown by her side on countless missions. He smiled with both pride and disbelief. "Welcome home, Viper." Emma shook her head gently. "I'm not Viper anymore. I'm a mother who just wanted to get her son home." Colonel Davis knelt to speak to Liam with a warm grin. "Your mom is a legend, you know that." Liam looked up proudly. "I know. She's my hero." Davis stood and cleared his throat. "Emma, the Air Force has been searching for someone to lead our new pilot training program. We don't need you for war. We need you to teach the next generation, to give them the heart you have. Just one mission, on your terms." Emma looked at her son, letting the question hang in her eyes. Would this hurt him or inspire him. Liam understood in a way that surprised her. "Mom, you can fly again. I'll be okay. And other pilots need you too." Emma felt something unlock inside her. She looked at the sky, not as a threat anymore, but as a place that once gave her purpose and could again. She turned back to Davis. "Then I'll return, but not as Viper 1. She lifted her chin, reclaiming the strength she once buried. "I'll return as Commander Emma Carter." Colonel Davis saluted her with respect earned over a lifetime. "Welcome back, Commander." Emma squeezed Liam's hand as they walked forward toward a new future, one where she didn't have to choose between the sky and her son, because she had learned how to live for both.